Blake Snell is a Dodger, and I know just saying that out loud is going to make a lot of you guys roll your eyes and say, this is just the Warriors of Major League Baseball. I'm not even going to watch what happens in 2025 and beyond because the Dodgers have ruined my beautiful game. But that's where this hat comes in. I'm going to be speaking as a small market fan, and why honestly, I got to give a round of applause to what the Dodgers have done, because the reason why they're in the position that they're in is because of a lot of other stupid owners in Major League Baseball. Not only are they stupid, but they're cheap as well. And the Dodgers have taken advantage of those dummies. Yeah, if you guys couldn't tell, we're going to be ranting today because we do not have a Dodgers issue in the game of baseball. We have an owner's issue. Stay tuned for that because Juan Soto, he trolled the hell out of us. Real quick, I do want to bring up the fact that Juan Soto posted this video to his IG. He's got microphones everywhere. He's looking fly and ready to make a life-changing decision. Well, he made a decision, all right. He is signing with the Drink Celsius. And the update on Juan Soto is that reportedly 5 teams have made him offers. The Dodgers are one of those 5 teams, and me personally, now that the Dodgers have picked up Blake Snell, I actually think that this lessens their chances of getting a Juan Soto, because I don't think Juan Soto wants to be the Kevin Durant of Major League Baseball and be known as a guy who joined a super team and kind of just sold out and joined the best team possible. Now that the Dodgers have a rotation with Blake Snell, we'll talk about it and break it down. Juan Soto is way too competitive for that, but maybe that's just me and I'm being delusional, and I don't know the guy. I'm just assuming. So here's the Blake Snell contract with deferred money and what it means for the game of baseball in just a few minutes. I'm not going to waste your time, but I will get a little bit angry in just a few moments. Blake Snell got 5 years, $182 million from the Dodgers. So if you're doing quick mental maths in your head, it's about $36.4 million a year. Not really, though. We'll talk about why in a moment. So when Snell's healthy, obviously he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's a 2-time Cy Young winner, joining the reigning World Series champions who weren't even fully healthy. So the rotation is going to be Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, a healthy Tony Gonsolin. If you guys don't remember, Tony Gonsolin, we'll put 2024 in the rear view mirror because there was a lot of rust. He was coming back from injury. He wasn't good. But over his first 280-ish innings, he had a combined 2.5 ERA. Him as a 5-starter is ridiculous. Now, here's where the Blake Snell $36.4 million AAV actually doesn't mean anything, because he's deferring 62 of that $182 million. And the reason why players defer money is one of 2 reasons. On the player side, it saves them a lot of money in taxes. So Ohtani, we know that he deferred $680 million of that $700 million contract. The biggest reason, at least to me, not to help out the Dodgers, he wanted to put more money in his pocket because California, if you guys did not know, it's the highest tax bracket, or maybe it's New York, but if you play for the Yankees, the Mets, or any California team, you're getting taxed up to you-know-what. So if you defer that money to the future, when you're no longer in California receiving that compensation, and California, they're complaining about it. Like, government officials hate Shohei Ohtani, and they're trying to change the code to have a cap on how much money you can defer. But as of right now in California, there's no cap. You can defer 100% of your compensation. Blake Snell is doing the same thing. He lives in Florida. He's hoping that after the 6 years is up, he's going to be out of baseball, or maybe with the Marlins or the Rangers or the Las Vegas A's. These are teams that are in states that have no state income tax, so he's getting a lot more money and bang for his buck. So that's the first thing. Blake Snell is deferring money to help himself in terms of future dollars and trying to circumnavigate California taxes. The second thing, it helps out the team greatly because you're staying under the luxury tax. If you guys did not know, when the CBA happened, where you had owners on this side, players on the other side, and there was a lockout, players said, we don't want a salary cap. If a player had a crazy season and he deserves $85 trillion a year, we're not going to stop a team from paying him. Like Steve Cohen, he could probably find that money. But all jokes aside, again, the players, they do not want a salary cap. They don't want an arbitrary number in the sky preventing them from getting the compensation they feel like they deserve based off their performance. So instead, we have a luxury tax, which again is a number in the sky. And if you pass that, you get taxed. And that taxed money, the fees, go to small market teams like the Guardians or the Pirates. Even though those teams, yes, they're a small market, but they're owned by billionaires. We'll rant about that in a moment. Nah. You know, I'm going to rant right now, because how is it the Dodgers' fault that the Red Sox traded away future Hall of Famer for a bag of peanuts, an expired Quizno gift card, and a couple V-Bucks? Why is it the Dodgers' fault that they took advantage of that and then gave him a contract? Why is it the Dodgers' fault that the Atlanta Braves chose to prioritize Matt Olson's lesser contract and let Freddie Freeman walk. Now, there's a whole big story behind that the Braves actually matched the offer, and then Freddie Freeman's agent didn't tell. Yes, he went to the Dodgers, and yes, he and Mookie Betts have both deferred money. But staying with deferred money, let's talk about it, right? Rafael Devers, he's deferring $75 million of his contract. Francisco Lindor, he's deferring $50 million of his contract. We have to stop pretending like the Dodgers found a super team of nerds that are in a bunker 50 feet underground, mining and hacking the motherboard to try and find access to the legendary deferred money program. It's been there. Ken Griffey Jr., he was the 4th highest paid player for the Reds in 2023. He hasn't played for the Reds since 2008. Deferred money has been a thing for as long as I can remember. The Nationals, they won a World Series essentially using and benefiting from deferred money. The Bryce Harper thing broke where they tried to defer $100 million of the offer that they extended to him. Juan Soto, they almost gave him a bunch of deferred money as well. Deferred money is not a Dodgers exclusive thing. It blows my mind that people believe that the Dodgers are ruining the game of baseball because Ohtani brought the same offer to the Angels, and the idiot owner for the Angels, Arte Moreno, chose not to take that contract offer. Sorry, I was getting a little bit too heated. I had to cut after getting a little personal with the owner of the Angels. By the way, sell the team. But I just can't blame the Dodgers for the faults of the GM and owner of the Red Sox. They let Mookie Betts walk. Any team could have traded for Mookie Betts, but the Dodgers chose to take on that risk. Same thing with Freddie Freeman. And when I say risk, every single superstar player has a chance of regressing. Just ask the Angels with Pujols, Josh Hamilton, CJ Wilson was all right, but even Mike Trout. Somehow the Angels get boned every time they spend a lot of money, so it's just clearly a difference in a fundamental process from the franchise between the Dodgers. Ooh, I'm about to get angry. That's like when you're angry and having a bad day and then your belt loop gets caught on the door handle. Just let me rant. Stay put. But I'm going to put on my small market hat now, and from a Guardians fan, here's what I've seen, not just from Guardians fans, but I'm generalizing small market teams. Small market teams can't afford to do that because the Dodgers, all they're really doing is deferring all the money for the future ownership. They're gonna sell the team in 10 years, and it's not gonna really mean anything for the current owners. And small market teams, our billionaire owners, we should feel bad for them because they just can't keep up. Obviously, I'm being a little bit condescending because I don't want to call it bootlicking, but you have to remember that Bob Nutting, the owner of the Pirates, is a billionaire. He's constantly being given the title of he owns the best ballpark in the game of baseball, like PNC Ballpark when the sun is setting. I want to go there. It seems like heaven. A couple plate appearances short of getting a measly little bonus of a couple $100,000. Down in Kansas City, they go from losing 106 games to making the playoffs because the Royals decided that, hey, what are the Dodgers doing? They're spending money. I kind of relate it to getting abs, right? People always, I don't have abs, but this is what people have said. But if you want abs, you got to make them in the kitchen. Yes, you got to work them out as well, but the Dodgers are proving that if you want abs, if you want to win a lot of games, not only do you have to develop your prospects, but you have to spend money on top of that. That's what my team, the Guardians, do not do. They build up a pitching factory, and they've always just built workhorse after workhorse after workhorse. Jose Ramirez was a gem as well. Lindor, that trade sucked. Andres Jimenez is a cool defensive player, but that trade has been awful. Don't get me started on that. But instead of giving money to those internal players that they invested in, they trade them, and then they don't bring in pieces unless you consider Mike Zunino and Josh Bell earth-shattering free agent moves. If you guys did not know the Guardians, and I'm kind of guesstimating, but I've already done the research, but I can't remember the exact number. Over the past 5 seasons combined, they've spent about $60 million in free agency. They've spent more on stadium renovations than they have free agents. But because they're a small market team, even though they're owned by a billionaire owner, it's somehow the Dodgers ruining Major League Baseball and not the 20-plus owners who don't give a shit about playing competitive baseball. They're just in it to pocket money, and I'm talking about the free TV money that they get, the shared TV money, the shared playoff money, the shared luxury tax money. These guys line their filthy little pockets with free money, and then they trade your favorite player. My heart goes out to Pirates fans because they're already bracing for impact that they're going to lose Paul Skeens because billionaire Bob Nutting doesn't invest in his players like that. He doesn't hand out that type of money. Skeens, even though he didn't play 1 year, just got a full year of service time, which quite literally means he will be traded 1 year sooner or leave 1 year sooner. They're probably not going to give him an extension, which is just, I feel so bad for that fan base. So to excuse cheap owners who are profitable day one and put all of the blame on the Dodgers, who We got to remember the Dodgers have been like this. In one trade a few years ago, they got Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. And that's because they built up enough prospect capital to get those superstars. They do both extremely well. The Angels could have had Shohei Ohtani. Heck, the Angels could have traded Shohei Ohtani. And speaking of trading, the Giants, here's one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. The Giants are losing Blake Snell for nothing. They could not extend a qualifying offer to Blake Snell because he already had one last year. You can't do it 2 consecutive years in a row. The Giants are losing Snell for nothing, and he's going to a division rival. That's complete ineptitude. But again, apparently it's the Dodgers' fault that some of these owners and GMs run their franchise like a 13-year-old running a lemonade stand on the corner of the street. The Dodgers are reaping the rewards. They're getting sponsorship money up the you-know-what. The 2024 playoff pool of money was the biggest ever at $129.1 million. The Dodgers made almost $50 million in one postseason. It's the largest ever. Other teams, they're going to get a cut of that as well. So no owner is going to call out the Dodgers and say, hey guys, can you stop spending money, because they're going to get some of that money. And also, if you guys did not know, owners like the A's or kind of like small market owners, they can't really speak out and hold the other owners accountable because they need votes if something needs to change, aka the A's are moving to Las Vegas. John Fisher, he needs 23 out of 30 votes. The Orioles, they had to get 23 of 30 owner votes in order to sell to the guy who's worth $4 billion, Rubenstein or something like that. Owners have to have each other's backs. Otherwise, they're going to miss out on votes in the future if something has to change. So to put a bow on today's video, we do not have a Dodgers issue. We have an owner's issue. The fact that fans across the game of baseball are yelling for a salary cap because so many owners don't invest the money that they're given for free, courtesy of the owners that do spend money and go above the luxury tax and bring in a bunch of TV money. Those fans are getting absolutely sick of watching a product that could be better, but their owner chooses not to. And even in another sport like the NBA, they have to change the NBA All-Star game because the players don't care enough because they're making so much money. It just seems like, maybe I'm generalizing, but modern day athletes and owners care more about making money than they do winning. I just think it's pathetic that us peasants should just be happy with, hey, we have a team to root for and that should be it. Now, if you're a fan of a small market team who's owned by a billionaire, which doesn't even make sense and compute in my brain, it seems like there's no hope. It's one way or no way. It seems like there's no wiggle room. But that's why I really tip my cap to what the Royals did. They showed that you can develop a Bobby Witt Jr. and then spend money on top of that. If you're the Dodgers, you can take advantage of Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman being available, then add Ohtani because the Angels owner is a complete waste of space and chose not to match the offer that Ohtani brought back to him after meeting with the Dodgers. It was Ohtani's idea to defer money. Deferred money has always been a thing. If you're mad at the Dodgers, well, I would suggest redirecting that anger back to your owner, who instead of spending the money that he pockets from the other owner spending their money on players, they choose to trade your favorite player and then invest in an apartment complex down the street. Keep that in mind.